One thing I should probably invest in or buy, I guess, is a remote activation for the phone because I do more tripod videos. It seems now I have, the wireless mic, so I don't have to be close to the camera, which you see I'm not. Is this too far away? I don't know. Kind of gives the ambiance or sets the setting or establishes the setting, or an establishing shot you usually don't stay on. I have coffee. Nice thing about after the eye surgery is being able to look at things close without glasses. So now, yeah, it's just kind of cool if I think about it. Like, wow, I don't have to use glasses. Because I mean, before, put on glasses, look at something, take them off, and or I mean, wear them the whole time. Doesn't matter. It's not like it's a kind of a cool look. They're nice glasses. Cheap too, from Zenny.com. That's the whole point of this, is I'm advertising Zenny. So stocks are good today. It's Monday. They're mixed, but the stocks that matter the most to me, like Amazon and Tesla and Nvidia, and I think Palantir too, and Intuit still. I still have that stock. Those ones are up, so that makes a difference. The Dow is actually kind of down. Anyway, people didn't tune in for the stocks, but hey, if I'm looking back 10 years from now I know. It's 2025, November 3rd. Getting close to the end of the year, and then we're in 2026. Got to keep that going, right? Forever and a day. Yesterday was a trip to Idaho City. Cool place. Old city, Idaho. I looked at some of the history they had. It's up there for tourists. And I guess it got big, and I think it was it 18, I forgot the years, 62? Maybe, and the gold rush at that time here, and then it like 200 businesses had popped up in 4 years, but in 4 years actually the gold was kind of gone at that point. So during that time, it just extremely fast movement here, a build up, and then it stayed around. Obviously the city's still there, but when the gold went, like a lot of places, the gold was gone. So it's a cool place to check out. It's like, it's like going back in time. Some of the buildings, the wooden, it's like got old wooden planks on it, which is pretty cool, and tin roofs. It is pretty cool. The thing about it, sometimes people forget, it's not, if you go back in time 200 years, the wood was new then, so it wouldn't be aged wood. So you're trying to actually recreate the look of that time period. Some things were brand new. So, but then again, some things were also built 100 years before that, so the wood could be aged from that. But if the city was a boom town in 1862, and you were going back to 62, the wood would probably be pretty new on a lot of buildings there. So just something to keep in mind when you're recreating history. It's like, well, what look are you trying to go for? Because in the present, although some of the series lately have been doing a good job in showing new construction, like it was the show, that American Outlaw, whatever show, there was like showing some towns, and there's just a lot of new buildings going up at that point. Probably great for set constructors that they think, they say, you could actually just not even finish these, like when you're building sets for movies. That's kind of funny. Some of the construction, actually, I wonder if it really looked like that back then. I don't know. I'm sure people that researched it could find out, but sometimes it looks like a modern construction project. Not that they had like, drywall, but the wood. Okay, so anyway, I did that. Saw the cemetery, cool cemetery out there, and people go back. It's not like you go to England, you're seeing people from like, 1150 or whatever. This is like 19th century, so you're seeing people that I didn't see anyone born in the 18th century, so no 17 something on there, but 18th century, and they're still used today, so people are still dying to get in. Can't pass that joke. Save me a plot, please. I'm dying to get in. I think that was Leave It to Beaver that used that first time I saw that. It was a cool place. It's a really interesting cemetery. I've never seen one quite like that, because it's kind of up on the hills and things are kind of scattered. It's like graves that were like scattered in a forest, just kind of like that. And the new ones are interesting too, because it looks like a lot of people also bought their plots and are just waiting, dying to get in, and families too, husband and wives or children, things. Also another thing, you could see like people like back 100, 200 years ago, if a child passed away, they'd leave a gravestone there, and so you could see they like 5 years, 5 months, and 6 days, whatever. Interesting that when it's so young, you kind of have child's taken away so young, they go down to the days. So they just imagine, yeah. But when you get to like 85 years, like I probably don't need the months at that point or the days. 85 years, 2 months and 3 days. Anyway, so did that, and it's worth it. The scenery in Idaho changes quite a bit. It doesn't become tropical or anything, don't get me wrong, but you kind of go from a rocky area. I mean, it's all volcanic and tectonic plates and all that stuff is what's kind of guided all this. But the vegetation changes and you get to rivers and forests, and interesting. It's very, very interesting, the differences as you go, north or south, whatever. So there's parts of it where you just can't tell what state you're in. You could think this could look straight out of California or Washington or Oregon. I don't know about East Coast. The trees would probably give that away to some degree. A lot of pine trees out here at some places. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, we did that, came back, got a nice dinner, kind of an early Thanksgiving, and I took advantage of a lot of meat and broccoli. I went big on those because those are very low carb, high calories for steak for sure, but it was cool just eating a lot of steak and thinking I'm filling up but I'm not having any carbs, so that was cool. And the same thing with the broccoli. Did try a little bit of potato. I mean, potatoes are okay. So that was the first time I really got to eat a decent sized meal in a while. Yeah, I wanted to enjoy it, so that's why I kind of saved my calories for dinner. Dinner was the time to use up those calories, and that's what I wanted. Diet, drink, no wine. Obviously, I mean, I probably would have drunk wine if I weren't on the no year of alcohol type thing. So that's why I kind of passed. I hate missing the wine for dinner. I mean, that was kind of a nice thing. So that's just another reason why the year will probably be just a year and not more. Not 100% on that, but leaning towards that. We played games, we played camel races, and I won. I'm kind of surprised about that because that one I was making a lot of betting. You learn to bet in that game, which is kind of cool. It teaches you, is that a good skill to learn? But you learn about betting, and I was just betting, had to kind of bet on a lot of things, hedge my bets or kind of double down or cover them. But it turned out at the very end, the final big bets, I won. So it was kind of cool. Get to call myself Camel King. Or I should learn camel in Spanish because I was saying soy el rey, I am the king, but I don't know how to say camel in Spanish, in Espanol. So it's been fun. I head back doing this. This is the last video, probably, at least big video of Idaho. Head back on a 6 o'clock flight, which was going to be a 6 a.m. flight, actually, or something close to that. But a couple days ago, Alaska had said, we like people to change flights, and if you can select a different flight, we'll pay you $45 in flight credits. You don't get cash back. But normally it's $25, and I was like, okay, for $45, I think I can do this because you get same day options too. So I thought, well, the same day, that works perfectly. So I said, yeah, I'll take it. I also had to check with some friends, say, can you meet up for lunch, late lunch? And they said, yeah. I said, perfect, because I wasn't going to get to see them anyway because I was leaving so early. But now, just as cool. Family gets more time, get to spend time with friends. I make a little money. Win, win, win. Win, 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 all around the board. So I almost book extra flights just so I can get that option. I don't, but in December I have a lot of flights coming up, and it sounds like I might be able to take advantage of it then. But the flights are basically because, well, we might have a dinner show on the 17th, might have a dinner show on the 18th. So it's like, well, now I got to buy like the ticket for the 16th, the 17th, and 18th. I have to have 3 flights ready to go. Because if it comes up later and they confirm, then the flights are going to be like twice as much or 3 times as much. So I have to buy the flights early and then cancel and get credit back. And I'm talking quite a bit, but got a lot to say. Yeah, that's December. So for entertainment, we watched, kind of in the background, a movie called Johnny Eager. And it was like not Lauren Bacall, maybe it was, Lana Turner, maybe. And it was done in like 41, I think. And it's a good movie. It's like these old black and white movies are actually pretty entertaining and stand up. And it's like you can still watch them now and be entertained and not think, they're not as good as today. I mean, a lot of them are, but not all of them are. We watched Johnny Eager, which I liked. You kind of like, this is a kind of movie where it does follow kind of a plot where you kind of can guess the ending. it's going to be tragic. I mean, it's like Shakespearean tragedy. It's always, you always know something's going to give. That conflict resolution is to get rid of the conflict, which is usually getting rid of the hero or anti-hero. They had this whole thing about new anti-heroes. There's anti-heroes way back when the good guy's not completely good and kind of bad at the same time. And it was like, oh, Mad Men got us the anti-hero. I was like, well, it didn't give us the anti-hero. We had the anti-heroes for a long time. So it's nothing new. I just surprised anyone would ever think that. Like, have you never watched an old 40s movie? But the second movie was Murder Inc. And it's entertaining, but the plot just kind of falls apart, and it's like, it's just wonky, and it's got these like newsreel things where it's trying to say this really happened in 1950 and whatever. It's like, there's no point to that, and it kind of takes you out of it. 1 second. Yeah, it kind of takes you out to that. So I would say still worth watching if it's on, just because of the nostalgia and kind of learning about it. But okay, I got to go. They want to play some Scrabble. So next time on Travels with James, or whatever I call this. I don't think I have a name for this. Cheers.